Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. I decided to combine two of my videos together from the PlayStation 2 to the original Xbox to make one big video of how peak gaming was in the early 2000s. Make sure to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell, and let's get right into it.
Happy New Year early. In 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy 2000!
Excuse me, sir.
Where you never know who you'll run into next. Kingdom Hearts for PlayStation 2, rated E for everyone.
Catch the boss and recover the remaining Imperial bucks.
How well do you have to know me to trust me?
He's mine. I don't know if I can trust anybody.
Betrayed by the gods, he seeks revenge. And a new myth will be written in the blood of the old. God of war, let it end from the truth.
Await you, where the mysteries of the past are unveiled and darkness broods. There looms a beacon of hope.
I'm Dexter. He's Jack. He's with me.
A new legacy is born, rated E for everyone.
Stay fuzzy. Save the world. Choices.
A couple of pictures and then go home.
Anybody you recognize here?
Huh?
I don't hang out with animals, man. But I don't.
Which one is he? Does this ring a bell? Which one? You're sitting here lying to me, wasting my time. You're a liar, and I know you're a liar. Ask me here. Is it this one? How about that one, huh?
Sly Cooper, he's one cunning, devious, thievius raccoonus, rated E for everyone.
That is the Morph-Array, and that, of course, is Jerry. The Morph-Array is used in Ratchet and Clank to turn your enemies into chickens.
No, wait. Before you do that, just explain to me how it's gonna work.
Oh, it worked. Jerry's a chicken. Are you sure we can turn him back? Jerry?
The Morph-Array, one of 36 weapons and gadgets not fit for this world.
How
How do you describe a playmaker?
He's the guy who always come up with the big play.
Moves you can't touch.
Dodging guys left,
Right.
bouncing off tacklers, spinning.
Changing direction on a dime.
Finds that little bit of daylight.
Just a little bit.
And then boom.
Boom.
He's gone.
Off like a rocket.
Into high gear, baby.
Heading for the end zone. See ya.
Only to be caught.
Right before the goal line.
Madden NFL 2004, now with exclusive playmaker control. Rated E for everyone. EA Sports. It's in the game.
It's the end of the world, but if you find the clues, you get to rebuild it any way you like. Rated T for teens.
Okay, fellas, time to pull off the big heist. First, Murray will help me break into the old water tower.
The Murray's ready to go.
Sly, you'll pickpocket the truck keys, then hand them off to me and Murray in the plaza.
Sounds easy enough. What's the catch?
Well, we need someone to coordinate the job for the safe house.
Oh, I'm not really sure how to use your computer.
Not you, Murray. Them.
So, you want to play?
Rated E for everyone.
A kingdom cursed by an evil spell calls out for a hero. Join an epic quest in a boundless world to save king and country. Only you can be the hero. Dragon Quest VIII. In stores now. Includes playable demo of Final Fantasy XII. Rated T for teen.
G Game Master 16. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Let us have a great new year in 2025 with excitement and new experiences. This is my first video essay of 2025, so let this video reach as many views as possible by subscribing. Oh, and also side note, make sure you subscribe, because when you subscribe, the content will get way more exciting, and when you don't, you'll be missing out on the adrenaline rush. So, what are you doing? And also, share this video out there to as many future subscribers as possible for more gameplays and video game history videos. We're definitely going to start off this year right by addressing the PlayStation's most profound console that sold to many individuals since 2000, the PlayStation 2. The technology of the PS2 is vastly superior to the PS1 in every way, and was the foundation to the progression of three-dimensional graphics through the years from becoming less detailed, stylized, and pixelated to more refined, detail-focused, and beautiful experiences. This PlayStation console has many games attached to its name in North America and Japan. It was such a hit with many people because the upgraded specs allowed the console to work with human models to have moving face muscles and clothes, along with physical environments having the physics to interact with effects like water and wind. It was better than the PS1, and I'm here to explain how this masterpiece of a console became popular to begin with. With all that rambling on about how I like the PS2 that want to make you jump off a cliff screaming maniacally, let's talk about the console itself. As we discussed in the previous video, the PlayStation 1 console sold over 100 million units with strong critical acclaim from 1994 to 2005. When the console first launched back in late 1994 in Japan, the chief designer of the original PlayStation, Ken Kutaragi, began working on the PlayStation 2 development in secret. In early 1997, word started spreading from the press that a new PlayStation was coming and would have backward compatibility with the PlayStation 1, along with a built-in DVD player and internet connectivity. Even though Sony was denying any remarks of a sequel console in development, the people in charge of Sony at the time were a little hesitant if the PlayStation 2 would recapture the same success as the PlayStation 1. While the Sega Dreamcast was launched the same year the PlayStation 2 was announced on September 9, 1999, selling over 500,000 units, the PlayStation 2 was announced earlier in the same year on March 2nd. Sony revealed the PlayStation 2 at Tokyo Game Show, showing many playable demo reels of the launch games for the console in a press conference presentation format. At the press conference in Tokyo Game Show, the tech demos of games shown off were Gran Turismo 2000, later named Gran Turismo 3 A-Spec, and Tekken Tag Tournament. Afterwards, it was released the next year in Japan on March 4th, 2000, and in North America on October 26, 2000. The PlayStation 2 was such a big leap from the original PlayStation in terms of hardware improvement with graphical and gameplay enhancements that people would wait outside certain department stores like Walmart or Target, and outside GameStops and malls, or their own individual outside stores in huge lines to get their hands on the console. It's to the point where people had to set up tents outside of the stores and stay there overnight until the stores opened to be the first in line for the console, which looks like it was really chaotic. You would have had to get to the store by 8 or 9 p.m. at night with your tent and sleep until 5 a.m. in the morning to wake up and get dibs on the PS2, which seems like a very determined individual to go through that. It sold over 155 million units in its lifespan as Sony dominated the video game industry at the time, that beat the sales in the Nintendo 64, GameCube, Sega Saturn, and Sega Dreamcast. They chose a different marketing demographic for this console, to which was teenagers, because younger audiences wanted to play more mature things instead of the usual easy platformers and baby games, along with older audiences that enjoy video games as much as when they were teenagers. Beyond just games, the PS2 also has built-in functions to be a DVD player that costs cheaper than any other regular DVD player at the time. Also, you could watch movies on it at 480p with 3 to 5 channel Dolby sound. The PlayStation 2 included online support, but it was very limited compared to the Xbox's online service, Xbox Live. The PS2 needed the PlayStation 2 network adapter and needed either dial-up or broadband internet to connect to the game that ran on third-party servers. When the PS2 first released, it started at a price of $299 in 2000, but the price got cut in May 2002 to about $199 in North America. That was $100 less than the Xbox at the time. Japan also cut its price down on the console later in 2003. After the end of its life cycle, there were 160 million units sold after 2 decades, but during its run, the Nintendo DS was a rival in sales and failed to reach the PlayStation 2 sales, leaving a massive 5 million gap, with 154.02 million units sold of the Nintendo DS. As the PlayStation 2 stopped production back in 2012, 155 million units were sold at the time when Sony stopped giving updated sales numbers. The PlayStation 2 was enough to end the life cycle of the Sega Dreamcast by the end of 2000 that caused Sega to have financial issues, and they announced the discontinuation of it just 18 months after it launched. Whew. That's rough, buddy.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Anyways, it was a good deal at the time for people to purchase the console for games and media rather than waste money on expensive home media theater equipment. With a simple look at the specs of the PS2, let's look at how it's designed. The color of the PS2 originally was matte black, with the PlayStation 2 logo on the superior side, 2 ports that each come with a controller connection on the bottom and a memory card connection on the top, venting spots on the front and back, the reset button and disc tray opener button, the disc tray, 2 USB ports, one IEEE 1394 FireWire port, which only come in SCPH-10000 and 3900X models only, power switch plug-in port, and a slot for a network adapter and internal hard disk drive. The memory card for the PS2 only had an 8MB capacity, and you would have to get a couple of them to keep a certain amount of games saved, but there were non-Sony computer cards that had larger capacity for more games to be stored. The PlayStation 2 controller, or DualShock 2, is a different story because even though it still looks the same as the original PS1 controller, the analog sticks are stiffer, the controller is lighter, and all of the buttons are readable as analog values or pressure sensitive, as it can sense 256 levels of pressure. Also, the controller has force feedback or vibration functions like the original PlayStation, but has 2 more levels of vibration for deeper immersion of the gaming experience. Now that we talked about the controller, the console, the history, the appeal, the online functionalities, to which also laid the foundation for the PlayStation Network or PSN and Microsoft's Xbox Live, the affordability, and the hardware, let's talk about the games that set the PS2 on the path to popularity. As we get into the awesome games of the PS2, we will start with the 9 iconic games that gave this console an identity, and then we'll list off many of the other games that came out on the PlayStation 2 that solidified the console as the peak of the PlayStation brand. Let's start off with the game Kingdom Hearts from 2002.
You'll never know who you'll run into next. Kingdom Hearts for PlayStation 2, rated E for everyone.
This is one of the early PS2 games that combined two brands as a crossover between Squaresoft and Disney at the time. Former Squaresoft executive Shinji Hashimoto and Final Fantasy creator Hironobu Sakaguchi wanted to create an open world game like Super Mario 64, but they geared towards Disney because that company had characters to compete with the Mario IP. Final Fantasy character designer Tetsuya Nomura heard these conversations and wanted to contribute to the project. Square and Disney shared an office at this time, and Hashimoto bumped into a Disney executive by surprise in an elevator, and he pitched his concept on using Disney characters in his game. Later on, it was approved in 2000. In the development process, they were given the freedom to do what they wanted with the Disney characters, but they wanted the characters to not feel out of place in the game. For a protagonist, Disney wanted Mickey Mouse, Square wanted Donald Duck, but Nomura made a compromise to make an original character named Sora, and the rest is history. The game was released in Japan on March 28, 2002, and in North America on September 17th of that same year. The story revolves around Sora, a 14-year-old boy who lives on Destiny Islands with his friends Riku and Kairi that wanted to explore other worlds outside their home. But they get separated one day in a storm of darkness, and Sora has to find them and get back home. He later bumps into Donald and Goofy that aids him on his quest, along with fighting creatures called Heartless and Disney villains with the power of the Keyblade gifted to him. This game was a staple for PS2 games and had an impact on many players. The second game that is iconic to the PlayStation 2 is Okami, which was directed by Hideki Kamiya. He wanted to make a game that used the game engine that was used in the Resident Evil remake on the GameCube, but lacked artistic flair and gameplay. They wanted a more stylized art style that combined ukiyo-e and sumi-e, which are Japanese watercolors and wood carving techniques, to convey the themes of healing and nature. In simple terms, it is a cel-shaded art style called Celestial Brush that adds to the gameplay of giving life to wilted plants, repairing bridges, slashing foes, or creating elemental effects. Kamiya took inspiration from Japanese mythology and folklore to make the game's story. The story involves White Wolf, or Shiranui, restoring Nippon Japan and Kamiki Village back to its regular state from the 8-headed demon Orochi. The game was released in Japan on April 20th, 2006, and in North America on September 19th, 2006. The next game that is recognizable on the PlayStation 2 is Grand Theft Auto Vice City, which takes place in 1986 and mixes with the presentation of a usual GTA formula. The developers, Rockstar North, wanted to take heavy inspiration from the city of Miami, Florida, and created Vice City as the setting that the producer, Leslie Benzies, as a party town with a dark secret. This is the 4th sequel in the main GTA series, and also is based on real-world people and events that happened in Miami, like the 1980s crack epidemic, Cubans, Haitians, biker gangs, mafia drug lords in Miami, and the glam metal dominance. The plot involves Tommy Vercetti getting released from prison for a murder and gets into many misadventures dealing with a drug operation. The gameplay is the same as usual when it comes to Grand Theft Auto games, like taking cars and getting into gang fights and doing many missions around the city. The game was released in North America on October 29, 2002. The game after release was critically acclaimed and has been the most well-known Grand Theft Auto game by most gamers, even nowadays. The next game the PS2 is known for is Hot Shots Golf due to the game IP and updated graphics and game mechanics.
It seems like there's an incredible amount of work that goes into bringing a Japanese game to the US. We wondered if Hot Shots was a typical localization.
The degree of localization in this game, I would say, is much heavier than other localization titles. For instance, role-playing games are always just pure text translation. However, with games like Hot Shots Golf, the gameplay as well as the character appeal is the essence of the game. This game is huge in Japan, and I bet they have a much harder time creating a sequel that surpasses the previous series over there in Japan. But here, I know there are hardcore game fans that love this game. They're expecting something much better for Hot Shots 3, and my goal is to beat their expectations.
The developer, Clap Hans, originally wanted characters in this game to have realistic proportions like a taller body with a small head, but received feedback to make the characters more stylized with a shorter body and a big head. This was done with the taller body and the smaller head designs for the Western audience. Hans took advantage of the PS2 technology to upgrade the character models in 3D environments. This also relates to the character designs of the characters because the Japanese version has characters that gear towards Japanese hairstyles and clothes, and the American version has characters unique to Western clothing and hairstyles compared to its predecessor. The game was released in Japan on July 26, 2001, and in North America on March 2, 2002. It was a cozy, easy to play game where you just put balls on large golf courses with a variety of unique characters and was generally fun. The next game that contributed to the PlayStation 2's popularity is Jak and Daxter: The Precursor Legacy, since this game is one of the first platformers on the PS2 at the peak of the platformer genre.
Embark on an epic journey in a mystical world unlike our own. A world in search of new heroes. Heroes that stand fast in the face of evil.
I was right behind you, Jack! Really? I was.
A new legacy is born. Rated E for everyone.
Bring 'em on!
The main developer, Naughty Dog, wanted to make another platformer after Crash Bandicoot, and it had to be a semi-open world type format. They tweaked the game engines that they were using to create the game to improve the performance of the game to where there are no loading times and display high textures in a multi-level world. At first, the team had to use proxies to make the computer graphics application Maya more compatible with the 3 to 6 million polygons in each of the game's levels. After the level design was finished, they decided to make 2 protagonists because originally they wanted to have 3 protagonists, but they stuck with 2. The characters were inspired by designs from Battle Chasers and Princess Mononoke, while the villages and character interactions took inspiration from Asterix. Fun fact, before Naughty Dog started to work on Jak and Daxter, they showed Sony Computer Entertainment a tech demo dubbed Boxman to show off the animation engine, and this is how they came up with Jak and Daxter.
The characters hadn't even been named yet, it just had pictures of Jak said hero and picture of Daxter said sidekick. And then they actually showed me the game in progress, and I was completely blown away. Not only by the graphics, which looked pretty much better than anything I'd seen on PS2, but the animation of the main characters like Jak and Daxter. John Kim did it all himself, and oh my god, it blew my mind.
Oh yeah, this little space, and Jak's cool little water waddle. I love look at Daxter shivering. That was John Kim touch.
Daxter was, I guess, one of the things that I drew as far as inspiration was Abu, Aladdin Abu. He was squirrely. He was literally just Oliver Jack. In Aladdin is all over the main character, and yeah, and he would do the same thing in the game. You know, if he does a spin kick, he would spin around him and he'll string back and come back like a rubber band. And so yeah, all that ideas, I think, heavily for me as an animator came from Aladdin.
But again, that was a first. Most characters, and still there are games where the characters go in the water and they just walk through the water. Jack had a reaction for everything.
Yeah, his animation was pretty unparalleled.
And that was something that was very important to us, was that passion for animation and very responsive controls.
The story takes place on a fictional planet that starts off in Sandover Village with Jack, a 15-year-old mute teenager, and Daxter, who is voiced by Max Casella, an outspoken klutz that is best friends with Jack but later turned Otzel, a fictional crossbreed between Weasel and Otter, have to stop Gol Acheron, the Dark Sage, from releasing Dark Eco onto the world and returning Daxter to normal after Eco exposure. Most of the gameplay revolves around a green heart representing a life bar and many collectibles to find. You could also swim in the water, but if you stay in it for too long, then a piranha-like creature will swallow you, which always annoyed me when I played the demo, so make sure you're aware of that. Also, you can control Jack by jumping and spin kicking along with punching enemies. The game was released in North America on December 4th, 2001, and was really popular with critics and gamers as it later became a PlayStation greatest hit. It was a runner-up for GameSpot's Best Platform Game Award in console games, as the best one went to Conker's Bad Fur Day that year. Late in 2001, it passed 1 million copies and reached the greatest hits list and reduced the price of the game. It was an ambitious game that really added to the platforming genre in gaming during that period of time. The fourth to last game that gave the PlayStation 2 its status is Ratchet & Clank, created by Insomniac Games. After the Spyro the Dragon series, they started a new project, I-5, that later became Ratchet & Clank in development. Ratchet & Clank was inspired by Brian Hastings' idea for a reptile alien collecting weapons as he progressed through the game. Ratchet reached his iconic design when Insomniac wanted a space lizard with a tail. Originally, the developers wanted 3 robots attached to Ratchet with different functions, but they dropped that idea because it would clash with Ratchet's character design and would be complicated to work with, so they stuck with one small robot and named him Clank as Ratchet's companion.
In this game, there's such immediate gratification. You can go out and blow the crap out of everything.
With the gadgets, we wanted to make sure that there was a lot of different options for the player when they're playing to kind of explore a lot of different ways to kind of cause some havoc and destruction.
There's the Tesla Claw, which shoots a bolt of electricity out, which actually picks characters up and throws them mid-air, and they explode. You've got the Suck Cannon, which allows you to suck characters in and hold them and fire them back out. The Rhino is an acronym for Rip Ya a New One, and you just stand back, fire that thing, and it destroys anything in its way.
I love the Pyrocitor. I'm not sure what that says about me.
One of the most unique weapons we have is the Visibomb.
It's awfully fun to cruise around the level from the bird's eye view and then target an enemy on the ground and just blow them up.
We were really surprised how quickly Ratchet came together. Ratchet started as this really small, scrappy cat-type thing, then kind of a much taller dog-like creature. And what I ended up doing was actually taking these two forms and putting them together, and that's pretty much how we ended up with them.
As artists, we've set a really high standard for what we want to achieve in this game, but it feels really good to know that the programmers, the designers, everybody has set equally high standards.
Everybody who comes on board here is excellent at what they do and have
really high expectations of delivering excellence.
When someone plays an Insomniac game, they can see anywhere they look in the game, there's an attention to detail, quality, as well as technical performance that is never lacking.
The gameplay for the game is collecting bolts by smashing crates and other objects as currency to pay for new weapons and upgrades. With Clank riding on Ratchet's back, he reacts as a jetpack or glider to get to farther areas. Ratchet starts out with his wrench that he uses throughout the whole game to solve puzzles and as a weapon to fight enemies, but can use more weapons later in the game that deals more damage. Ratchet's health bar starts with 4 bubbles of nanotech, but it increases later in the game. The story for the game is simple enough, in that Ratchet from Planet Core-2 is working on a spaceship near his garage until he comes across Clank as they go on an adventure to find Captain Quark and stop evil businessman Drek from destroying planets to make more profits. This game received many awards for graphics and gameplay, along with selling 1.1 million copies in the United States in 2002 and became a PlayStation greatest hit. It was critically acclaimed as a good platformer and broadened the capabilities of the PS2. The third to last game that gave the PS2 its name is Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater by Hideo Kojima and published by Konami.
The critics agree. Metal Gear Solid 3 is a hit. 5 out of 5 from official PlayStation Magazine. 5 out of 5 from GamePro Magazine. 10 out of 10 and Game of the Year from PSM Magazine. Snake is back. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Rated M for mature. From Konami.
Setting the game 31 years before the original game in 1964, Naked Snake needs to rescue Russian rocket scientist Sokolov, stop a superweapon, and his defected former boss. Kojima wanted to put most of the game setting outdoors to test the PS2's superior technology compared to the indoors feel of the previous games. It adopts a 1960s Soviet jungle setting and takes advantage of the technology to make environments more alive. The gameplay has a hand-to-hand combat system, a camouflage mechanic, a stamina gauge, and an injury and treatment mechanic that has not been presented in previous entries other than just healing yourself, sharpshooting enemies, and stealth. It also implemented a minigame called Snake vs. Monkey, where Snake catches ape escape monkeys. The game was a success, selling in Asia and America at 2.38 million units by December 2004 and selling 3.6 million copies worldwide by August 2005. This action-adventure stealth game is fondly remembered to this day and will have a remake for people to play it at higher quality. The second to last game to help the PS2 become popular is Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus.
Oh, this is bad.
Sly Cooper, he's one cunning, devious, Thievius Raccoonus. Rated E for everyone.
This game was developed by Sucker Punch Productions right after their first game, Rocket Robot on Wheels. They used Autodesk Maya to develop the game, and Brian Fleming, the Sucker Punch producer at the time, called the rendering style toon shading, using cel-shaded backgrounds to that of animated films. The game's stylization looks like a comic book because the intention was to make it look like a graphic novel to give it flair.
We started with the idea that we wanted to do an action game where the primary character was a thief. The choice of a raccoon was a pretty natural fit in terms of, you know, obviously the mask being in place, being, as Dev would say, a creature of the night.
We very early on wanted to make a game that looked and felt like a cartoon, but was one step closer to realism rather than flat and graphic. we started experimenting with different ways we could bring this character to life. Cell shading, how to make it feel like a cartoon but still feel like a great 3D game.
We want it to actually look like it was inked and painted. And we want the backgrounds to be, you know, really lush and have a painted look, so it looks like it's a living animated episode that you've been thrown into.
When you look at the game, initially, the first thing that draws you in is the beautiful art style and lush, very, very lush look of the environments. But when you actually play the gameplay itself is lush as well.
The original conception of the Sly character was a much more realistic raccoon, chubby and not quite as lithe as the character is now, and it kind of evolved as we went along.
Once we got to that part where he kind of evolved into what he is now, my main job was to take him and try to put every bit of thiefiness into him that I could. He's kind of tiptoeing, and he's really like rearing back to like ease his foot forward, trying to keep all his weight back so his foot falls softly on the ground, and really try to hone his personality through subtleties in the movement and really try to push the thiefiness.
The music plays a role in each level's atmosphere and tone, as it was composed by Ashif Hakik, as the stylized artwork helped him make instrumental choices that reflected the world and the characters. It would even influence the gameplay at a few points, where there is a rhythm game later on in the game during the Miss Ruby level. As for the gameplay, it's very basic. You just shimmy on cliffs and edges that show the blue sparkling path and climb certain objects following the blue path, or use the same path to hide behind objects to be out of the enemy's range. Sly's moves progress throughout the game in the form of finding enough clue bottles and unlocking safes to gain his ancestors' moves. There are also gameplay segments where you play Sly's companions, Bentley the Turtle in a Galaga-style minigame, or Murray the Hippo in a car racing minigame too. There are also minigames Sly himself does too, with gallery shooting and collection-style games. Even the story is easy to follow with Master Thief Sly Cooper, the raccoon, as he is on a quest to get his family book back from the evil Fiendish Five with the help of his friends Bentley and Murray to preserve his family's legacy. The game got good reviews for its cel-shaded art style and its fun platforming since its release in North America on September 24th, 2002, and in Australia and Europe on January 16th to the 17th in 2003, and also became a PlayStation Greatest Hit. The last iconic game that defined the PlayStation 2 is Dragon Quest VIII: Journey of the Cursed King by Square Enix and character designer Yuji Horii. Dragon Quest VIII is a Japanese role-playing game that takes the traditional role-playing elements of running around open-world environments like cities, towns, and sanctuaries, and leveling up, but in a Dungeon and Dragon type setting with knights, dragons, and kingdoms with a Japanese spin on it. It's the 8th main entry to the Dragon Quest series and has the usual silent protagonist. From previous entries in the series, the main protagonist has a group of colorful and unique characters created by Yuji Horii in a 3D environment for the first time. The gameplay is the same like any Dragon Quest game, using a turn-based combat system where there's the enemy side and the protagonist side taking turns, and have certain moves to outmaneuver each other that require strategy and patience to defeat the enemy side. You can also find certain materials throughout the world and craft items to make the characters in your party and your weapons stronger. The story revolves around a king and his daughter getting transformed into mythical creatures by an evil sorcerer, and the protagonist goes on a long adventure to stop the evil going on around different kingdoms and towns, and change back the king and his daughter while uncovering dark secrets behind the evil sorcerer's staff. It is not that much of a straightforward plot as in previous games, in that the main antagonist is sitting in one location for most of the game, causing problems for the main character. The main antagonist just hops around possessing individuals until its final form is shown at the end of the game. The game was released in Japan on November 27, 2004, and released in North America on November 15, 2005, as it becomes one of the most popular Dragon Quest games to date. Additionally, the music is composed by the late Koichi Sugiyama and has the usual upbeat, adventurous melody the series is known for. Along with that, the character artist for this game, Akira Toriyama, rest in peace, as this series' art style takes heavy inspiration from Dragon Ball's art style. Dragon Quest VIII is a great game and is accepted as a decent JRPG by many gamers and audiences out there in Japan and the US. Now that we addressed the famous choices of what made the PlayStation 2 popular, I'm just going to list off the rest of the games that came out on this console that gave it a grounded identity compared to the other consoles at that time because I feel like it. So strap your pants to a very soft lawn chair and prepare to have your mind illuminate with electrical charges. Here we go. As my lungs will begin to lower in gas exchange, we got .hack/mutation, .hack/quarantine, James Bond 007, Agent Under Fire, James Bond 007, From Russia with Love, 24, the video game,
Hostile down.
18-wheeler American Pro Trucker, 4x4 Evo, 50 Cent Bulletproof, Ace Combat 4 Shattered Skies, The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron, Attack of the Twonkies,
Another invention piece for my inventory.
Aggressive Inline, Air Force Delta Strike, Alien vs. Predator, Extinction, All-Star Baseball, 2002,
Liner to right.
Alone in the Dark, American Chopper, Alvin and the Chipmunks, American Idol, The Ant Bully, Ape Escape 2, Ape Escape 3, Arctic Thunder, Armored Core 2, Army Men, Air Attack 2, Art of Fighting Anthology, Asterix and Obelix, Kick Buttocks, Athens 2004, ATV Off-Road Fury, Avatar The Last Airbender, Avatar Burning Earth, Avatar Into the Inferno, Altered Beast, B-Boy, Backyard Baseball, Backyard Basketball, Backyard Football 2006, Backyard Wrestling, Don't Try This at Home, Bad Boys, Miami Takedown, Barbarian,
Ready. Fight.
Baldur's Gate, Dark Alliance, Baldur's Gate, Dark Alliance 2, Barbie, the Island Princess,
It's all about timing.
Barbie Horse Adventures, Riding Camp, Barbie and the 12 Dancing Princesses,
This bridge needs some repair. But I'm sure...
Barnyard, Bass Strike, Batman, The Rise of Sin Tzu, Battle Assault 3 featuring Gundam Seed, Battlefield 2, Modern Combat, Beatdown, Fists of Vengeance, B-Movie, Ben 10, Protector of Earth, Ben 10, Alien Force, Ben 10, Alien Force, Vilgax Attacks, Beyond Good and Evil, Biathlon 2008, The Bible Game, Big Mother Truckers,
That was Crystal's astronomy thing. I sure hope you enjoy.
The Bigs,
Line drive hit to the outfield. Wells.
Biker Mice from Mars, Bionicle, the game, Black, Black and Bruised, Blade 2, Blood Omen 2, Blood Rain, Blood Rain 2, Bloody Roar 4, BMX Triple X, The Bouncer, Bombastic, Bratz Forever Diamonds, Bratz Girls Really Rock, Brave, The Search for Spirit Dancer, Britney's Dance Beat,
Now you're getting it.
Breeders' Cup World Thoroughbred Championships,
Jed's Dream. Just in behind them, Gold Boom. Behind that, it's Akis.
Brothers in Arms, Earned in Blood, Brunswick Pro Bowling, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Chaos Bleeds, Bujim Guy, The Forsaken City, Bully, Burnout, Buzz, The Hollywood
Where
Quiz,
does this actor wind up dead in an alley?
Cabilla's African Safari,
That is not the animal you are here to hunt.
Call of Duty, Call of Duty 2, Call of Duty 3, Cars, Capcom vs. SNK, Mark of the Millennium, Carmen Sandiego, The Secret of the Stolen Drums, Casper, Spirit Dimensions, Chicken Little, Ace in Action, Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Chronicles of Narnia, Prince Caspian, Clock Tower 3, Code Lyoko, Quest for Infinity,
I need more data to clear this obstacle.
Codename Kids Next Door, Operation Video Game, Cold Fear, Cold Winter, College Hoops 2K6,
Dumps it to the middle. Tried to lay it right in.
Coliseum, Road to Freedom, Combat Elite, World War II Paratroopers, Commanders, Strike Force, Conflict, Vietnam,
Come on.
Constantine, Contra, Shattered Soldier, Cool Borders, 2001, Corvette Evolution GT, Crash Bandicoot, Wrath of Cortex, Crash Twinsanity, Crash Nitro Kart, Crash Tag Team Racing, Crash Mind Over Mutant, Crazy Taxi, Crimson C2, Crimson Tears, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, CSI, 3 Dimensions of Murder, Cubics, Robots for Everyone, Curious George, Psy Girls, Dance Dance Revolution Extreme, Dance Dance Revolution X, Dancing with the Stars, Dark Angel, Dark Angel, Vampire Apocalypse, Dark Cloud, Dark Cloud 2, Dark Summit, Dark Watch, The Da Vinci Code, Dawn of Mana, Dead to Rights, Dead to Rights 2, Death by Degrees, Deer Hunter, Def Jam, Fight for New York, Def Jam Vendetta, Destroy All Humans, Destroy All Humans 2, Deus Ex, The Conspiracy, Devil May Cry, Devil May Cry 2, Devil May Cry 3, Digimon Rumble Arena 2, Digimon World 4, Digimon World Data Squad, Dino Stalker, Disaster Report, Disney Golf, Disney Princess, Enchanted Journey, Disney Think Fast, Disney's Kim Possible, What the Switch, Disney's PK Out of the Shadows, Disney's Tarzan, Untamed, Stitch, Experiment 626, Disney's Winnie the Pooh, Rumbly Tumbly Adventure, DJ Hero, Dog's Life, Dora the Explorer, Dora Saves the Crystal Kingdom, Dora the Explorer, Journey to the Purple Planet, Dora the Explorer, Dora's Big Birthday Adventure, Dora Saves the Mermaids, Downhill Domination, Dragon Ball Z Budokai, Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2, Dragon Ball Z Budokai 3, Dragon Ball Z Sagas, Dragon Ball Z Infinite World,
Okay, I managed to catch him.
Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi, Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 2, Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3, Draken, the Ancient
You
Gates,
just come on back when you need some more. I'll be here.
Drakengard,
Inuart is with the goddess.
Drakengard 2, Driver 3, Dr. Muto, Drone Racers, Dual Hearts, Dual Masters, Dukes of Hazzard, The Return of General Lee, Dynasty Warriors 2, Dynasty Warriors 5,
Had to be the first one out, didn't you? Trying to make me follow your lead, swine.
Dynasty 6, Eagle Eye Golf, Eco the Dolphin, Defender of the Future, Edna and Eddie, The Misadventures, Endgame, Enter the Matrix, Aragon, Escape from Monkey Island,
Startled us. Yeah, that's it. I startled.
ESPN College Hoops 2K5,
McNair with the ball up top.
ESPN Major League Baseball,
Here's a swing on a ground ball. Batista is up with it. Not
ESPN International Track and Field, ESPN NBA 2K5,
7 on the shot clock. Tosses it up. Drops.
ESPN NFL 2K5,
Gets the snap and kicks what will be a short one.
ESPN NHL 2K5,
Picks up the puck in the offensive end. It's blocked.
ESPN X Games Skateboarding, ESPN Winter X Games Snowboarding 2002, Eternal Ring, EOE Eve of Extinction, Everblue 2, Evergrace, EverQuest Online Adventures, Evil Dead Regeneration, Evolution Skateboarding, Evolution Snowboarding, Extermination, iToy Play, F1 2002, Fairly Odd Parents, Breaking the Rules, Fairly Odd Parents, Shadow Showdown, Falling Stars, Family Feud, Family Guy,
It's there for a reason.
Fantastic Four, Fatal Fury Battle Archives Volume 1, Ferrari Challenge, Trofeo Pirelli, FIFA 2001,
Yanka. Nice footwork.
FIFA 2002, FIFA Soccer 2005,
Rothen.
FIFA Street, Fight Club, Fight Night Round 2,
Open him up and landed big time. An explosive
Final Fantasy X, Final Fight Streetwise, Finding Nemo, Firefighter FD18, Flat Out, Flow, Urban Dance Uprising, Flushed Away, Ford Mustang, The Legend Lives, Ford vs. Chevy, Forever Kingdom, Formula 1 2001, Franklin, A Birthday Surprise, Freaky Flyers, Freedom Fighters, Freak Style, Frogger's Adventures, The Rescue, Full Metal Alchemist and the Broken Angel, Full Metal Alchemist 2, The Curse of the Crimson Elixir, Full Spectrum Warrior, Futurama, Galactic Wrestling featuring Ultimate Muscle, Gallop Racer 2004, Gauntlet, Seven Sorrows, Gene Troopers, Genji, Dawn of the Samurai, The Gateway, Black Monday, Ghost Hunters, Ghost Rider, Gladiator, Sword of Vengeance, Gladius, Go Diego Go, Safari Rescue,
Thanks for drumming.
Go Diego Go, Great Dinosaur Rescue,
Keep moving.
Goblin Commander, Unleash the Horde, God of War, God of War 2, The Godfather, the game, Godzilla Save the Earth. GoldenEye Rogue Agent. Goosebumps Horrorland. Gradius 5. Graffiti Kingdom. Gran Turismo 4. Grand Theft Auto 3. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Come on, let's cruise into baller's territory.
Grandia 3. Gretzky NHL 2005.
Less than a minute remaining on the penalty.
Guilty Gear X. Guitar Hero. Guitar Hero 2. Guitar Hero Encore rocks the 80s. Gungrave. Gungrave Overdose. The Guy Game. Get on the Mic. Hannah Montana Spotlight World Tour. Happy Feet. Hard Hitter Tennis. Hard Rock Casino. Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Harvest Moon Save the Homeland. The Haunted Mansion. The Haunting Ground. Haven, Call of the King. Headhunter. Headhunter Redemption. Hurdy-gurdy. Heroes of Might and Magic. Quest for the Dragon Bone Staff. High Heat Major League Baseball 2004.
Fly ball. Looks like
High School Musical Senior Year Dance. The History Channel Civil War: A Nation Divided. Hitman Blood Money. Hitman 2 Silent Assassin. The Hobbit. Hot Shots Golf 4.
I need to go to the store now. That's Tweeter.
Hot Shots Tennis. Hot Wheels World Race. Hulk. Hummer Badlands. iNinja.
Try using your uppercut to lift the enemy into the
Ice Age 2 The Meltdown. The Hustle Detroit Streets.
crap.
Ico. IHRA Drag Racing Sportsman Edition. The Incredible Hulk Ultimate Destruction, The Incredibles, The Incredibles, Rise of the Underminer, Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb, Indiana Jones and the Staff of the Kings, Inuyasha, Feudal Combat,
I'm counting on you. Leave it to me, Inuyasha.
Inuyasha, Secret of the Cursed Mask, Jade Cocoon 2, The Italian Job, Jack 2, Jack 3, Jack and Daxter, The Lost Frontier, Jack X, Combat Racing, Jaws Unleashed, Jeep Thrills, Jeopardy,
Player 1, you get us going.
Jet Li, Rise to Honor, Jet X2O, Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, Jet Fusion, Juiced, Jumper, Griffin's Story, Walt Disney's Jungle Book, Rhythm and Groove, Jurassic Park, Operation Genesis, Jurassic the Hunted, Just Cause, Cow the Kangaroo, Round 2, Justice League Heroes, Kango, Master of Bushido, Kessen 1, Kessen 2, Kessen 3, Kill Dot Switch, Killer 7, Killzone, King Arthur, Kingdom Hearts, Rechain of Memories, Kingdom Hearts 2, The King of Fighters 2000, The King of Fighters 2006, The King of Fighters Maximum Impact, The King of Route 66, Klonoa 2, Lunatea's Veil, Knockout Kings 2001,
By Mosley. He faded downstairs and set up that headshot.
Knockout Kings 2002, Kung Fu Panda, Kia, Dark Lineage, LA Rush, Larry Boy and the Bad Apple, Legacy of Kain, Defiance, Legaia 2, Dual Saga, Legend of K, Legend of the Dragon, Legend of Spyro, A New Beginning, Legend of Spyro, The Eternal Night, Legend of Wrestling, Legend of Wrestling 2, Lego Soccer Mania, Lego Star Wars, the video game, Lego Star Wars, the original trilogy, Lemony Snicket's A Series of Unfortunate Events, Let's Ride, Silver Buckle Stables,
The next rider excels in this event.
Looney Tunes, Acme Arsenal, Looney Tunes Back in Action,
Every little bit helps.
Looney Tunes Space Race, The Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, The Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King, The Lord of the Rings, The Third Age, Lowrider, Lupin the Third, Treasure of the Sorcerer King, Mace Griffin, Bounty Hunter, Mad Maestro, Madagascar, Madden NFL 2001, Madden NFL 2005,
Great fake with the pass. Ooh, nearly picked off.
Madden NFL 2008,
He bulldozes through the line for the first.
Mafia, Magna Carta, Tears of Blood,
These are the realities of
Major League Baseball 2005,
Ground ball to the shortstop.
Malice, Manhunt, Mark Davis Pro Bass Challenge, The Mark of Kree, Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, Marvel Ultimate Alliance 2,
We take out the statue, and these tomb
Mary-Kate and Ashley Sweet 16,
This car is a mess.
Master Rally, The Matrix, The Path of Neo, Maximo, Ghost of Glory, Max Payne, Max Payne 2, Medal of Honor Front Line, Meet the Robinsons, Mega Man X8, Men in Black 2, Mercenaries, Playground of Destruction,
Head north to the Allied HQ. Garage.
Metal Gear Solid 2, Sons of Liberty,
Freeze.
Metal Slug Anthology, Metropolis Mania, Mike Tyson Heavyweight Boxing, Minority Report, Everybody Runs, Mission Impossible, Operation Surma, MLB 2006, MLB 06, The Show,
Fouled back.
MLB Slugfest 2004,
Line shot over the first baseman's head. And it bounces off the wall. Drew, hit it.
Mobile Suit Gundam, Encounter in Space,
Gundam, I'm ready to back you up.
Mobile Suit Gundam, Gundam vs. Zeta Gundam, Monopoly, Monster House, Monster Hunter, Monster Jam, Monster Rancher 4, Monsters Inc., Mortal Kombat Armageddon, MotoGP 4, MotorStorm Arctic Edge, Mountain Bike Adrenaline, MTV Celebrity Deathmatch, MTX Motor Tracks, The Mummy Returns, The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, Muppets Party Cruise, MVP Baseball 2005,
It's a line drive the other way.
MX 2002 featuring Ricky Carmichael, MX World Tour featuring Jamie Little, My Street, Mystic Heroes, Naked Brothers Band, Narc, Naruto Ultimate Ninja, Naruto Ultimate Ninja 2, Naruto Ultimate Ninja 3, Naruto Uzumaki Chronicles, Naruto Uzumaki Chronicles 2, Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja 4, Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja 5, NASCAR Heat 2002, NASCAR Thunder 2004, NBA 06, NBA 2K3, NBA 2K6,
A fadeaway. Grant grabs the
NBA Ballers,
Stojakovic contested by Fox. Christie.
NBA Live 2004, NBA Live 2005, NBA Street, NBA Street Volume 2. NCAA College Basketball 2K3. NCAA College Football 2K3.
Number 23 hits the ball. Number 19 nails him after a cut.
NCAA Final Four 2004.
31 receives the pass.
NCAA Football 2004.
On the ground with a tailback. And he's going to lose yards on this one.
NCAA Football 2005.
Ball on the 34-yard line.
NCAA March Madness 2004. Need for Speed Carbon. Neo Geo Battle Coliseum. NFL 2K3. NFL Blitz 2003.
The Rams down by 7.
NFL Blitz Pro.
Here comes the blitz. He's got it.
NFL Game Day 2002. NFL Game Day 2004.
Trying it outside. Win stops him cold.
NFL Street. NFL Street 3. NHL 2002.
Turned over.
NHL 06.
The Ducks have tied up the game.
NHL Hits 2003.
Jones successful on the draw. Jones. Puck stolen by Jimenez.
Nihao Kailan Super Game Day.
All right.
Nicktoons Unite. Nicktoons Attack of the Toy Box. Nightshade. Ninja Assault. NRA Gun Club.
10 seconds.
Obscure.
It's freaking creepy out here.
Obscure, The Aftermath.
Tonight then, huh?
You just save your ammunition for later.
Odin Sphere. Okage, Shadow King. One Piece, Grand Adventure. One Piece, Grand Battle. Oni. Onimusha, Warlord. Onimusha 2, Samurai's Destiny. Onimusha, Blade Warriors. Open Season. The Operative, No One Lives Forever. Orphan, Scion of Sorcery. Outlaw Tennis. Outlaw Volleyball.
Flip it over.
Outrun 2006, Coast to Coast. Over the Hedge. Parappa the Rapper 2. Payout Poker and Casino. Peter Jackson's King Kong, the video game. Pets Dogs 2. Pets Horses 2. Phantom Brave. Piglet's Big Game. Pimp My Ride. Pirates, Legend of the Black Buccaneer. Pirates of the Caribbean, The Legend of Jack Sparrow. The Polar Express. Portal Runner. Power Rangers Dino Thunder. Primal. Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time. Prince of Persia, Warrior Within. Pride FC, Fighting Championship. Pro Bull Riders, Out of the Chute. Project Eden. Project Snowblind. Prism Chapter 1, The Dark Unicorn. PsyOps, The Mindgate Conspiracy. Psychonauts. The Punisher, 2005. Cue Ball Billiards Master. Radiator Stories. Rampage, Total Destruction. Ratchet and Clank 2, Going Commando. Ratchet and Clank 3, Up Your Arsenal. Ratchet and Clank, Size Matters. Ratchet Deadlocked. Raw Danger. Rayman 2, Revolution. Rayman Arena. Real World Golf.
With a 45-degree shoulder turn.
Ready to Rumble Boxing, Round 2. Red Card, 2003.
Just outside the area. The Japanese
Red Dead Revolver. The Red Star. Resident Evil 4. Resident Evil, Code Veronica. Ridge Racer 5. Riding Star. Ring of Red. Risk, Global Domination.
Black Fleas, Brazil.
RHL, Run Like Hell, Hunter Be Hunted. Rad, Robot Alchemic Drive. Robin Hood, Defender of the Crown. Robot. Rock Band. Rocket Power Beach Bandits. Rocky, Rocky Legends, Rogue Galaxy, Rogue Ops,
One bomb planted. 2 to go.
Rogue Trooper, Rough Trigger, The Vanacore Conspiracy, Rugby 2004, Rugby 2006, Rule of Rose, Rumble Roses, Rygar, The Legendary Adventure, SLAI, Steel Lancer Arena International, Sakura Wars, So Long My Love, Salt Lake 2002,
This young Canadian has a big challenge at
Samurai Jack, The Shadow of Baku, Samurai Warriors, Samurai Warriors 2, Saturday Night Speedway, Savage Skies, Scooby-Doo First Frights, Scooby-Doo Mystery Mayhem, Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights, Scooby-Doo in the Spooky Swamp, Scooby-Doo Unmasked, Sea Monsters, A Prehistoric Adventure, Secret Agent Clank, The Secret Saturdays, Beasts of the Fifth Son, Secret Service, Sega Soccer Slam, Sega Superstar Tennis, Serious Sam, The Next Encounter, Seven Samurai, 20XX, Shadow Hearts, Shadow Hearts, From the New World, Shadow Man, Second Coming, Shadow of Destiny, Shadow of the Colossus, Shadow of Rome, Shadow the Hedgehog, Shaman King, Power of Spirit, Shark Tale, Shaun White Snowboarding, Shell Shock, Nom 67, The Shield the Game,
I think there are a few openings in San Quentin.
Shinobi, Shining Tears, Showdown, Legends of Wrestling, Shrek Super Slam, Shrek 2, Shrek the Third, Shrek Carnival Craze, Silent Hill 2, Silent Line, Armored Core, Silent Scope 2, The Simpsons game, The Simpsons Hit and Run,
Take that.
Simpsons Road Rage, The Sims, The Sims 2, The Sims 2 Pets, Sitting Ducks, Ski and Shoot, Sled Storm, Sly 2, Band of Thieves, Sly 3, Honor Among Thieves, Snipers Elite, Soccer America International Cup,
That's fine play. It's in the air.
SOCOM U.S. Navy SEALs, Sonic Heroes, Sonic Riders, Sonic Riders Zero Gravity, Soul Calibur 2, Soul Calibur 3, Soul Reavers 2, Space Chimps, Spawn Armageddon, Speed King, Speed Racer, Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy, The Spiderwick Chronicles, Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 3, Splashdown, SpongeBob, Atlanta Square Pandas, SpongeBob, Battle for Bikini Bottom, SpongeBob featuring Nicktoons, Blobs of Doom, SpongeBob SquarePants, Revenge of the Flying Dutchman, SpongeBob SquarePants Movie, The Game, SpongeBob SquarePants, Lights, Camera, Pants, Spy Fiction, Spy Hunter, Spy Hunter 2,
Check out hostile towers.
Spyro, A Hero's Tale, Spyro, Enter the Dragonfly, SSX, SSX Tricky, SSX 3, Star Wars Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Star Wars Bounty Hunter, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, Steambot Chronicles, Stella Deus, The Gate of Eternity, Stolen. Strawberry Shortcake, a Sweet Dreams game. Street Fighter EX3. Street Hoops. SRS, Street Racing Syndicate. Summoner 2. Super Dragon Ball Z. Super Monkey Ball Adventure. Superman Returns. Superman Shadow of Apocalypse. Surfing H3O. Swashbucklers Blue vs. Gray. Siphon Filter Logan Shadow. Siphon Filter The Omega Strain. Attacking the Power of Juju. Attack 2 The Staff of Dreams. Attack The Great Juju Challenge. The Tale of Despero. Tales of the Abyss. Tales of the Legendia. Taz Wanted. Teen Titans. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, Battle Nexus. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3, Mutant Nightmare. Tekken Tag Tournament. Tekken 4. Tekken 5. Tenchu, Fatal Shadows. Tenchu, Wrath of Heaven. Terminator, Dawn of Fate. Terminator, Rise of the Machines. Terminator 3, The Redemption. Test Drive Off-Road, Wide Open. The Thing. Theme Park Roller Coaster. Thrillville. Thrillville Off the Rails. Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2001. Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2003. Tiger Woods PGA Tour 2006.
Be right.
Time Crisis 3. Time Splitters. Time Splitters 2. Time Splitters Future Perfect. TMNT 2007. Tom and Jerry War of the Whiskers. Tomb Raider Legend. Tomb Raider Underworld. Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Jungle Storm. Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, Pandora Tomorrow. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. Top Gun, Combat Zone. Torino, 2006. Top Spin. Transformers, 2004. Trapped. Treasure Planet. Tribes, Aerial Assault. Triggerman. Triple Play, 2002.
Oh, that's gone.
True Crime, Streets of LA.
A mugger. Somebody should teach him the value of a hard day's work. Here.
Turok Evolution. Twisted Metal, Black. Tide of Tasmanian Tiger. Tide of Tasmanian Tiger 2, Bush Rescue. Tide of Tasmanian Tiger 3, Night of the Quinkin. UFC, Sudden Impact. Ultimate Spider-Man.
That means I have to put him down fast.
Unison, Rebels of Rhythm and Dance. Urban Chaos, Riot Response. Urban Reign. The Herbs, Sims in the City.
Money, money, money.
Valkyrie Profile 2, Silmeria. Von Helsing, The Game. Vex. Victorious Boxers, Ippo's Road to Glory. Victorious Boxers 2. Virtua Fighter 4. Virtua Fighter 4 Evolution. Virtua Quest. Virtua Tennis 2. Wallace and Gromit, Project Zoo. War of the Monsters. Warhammer 40K, Fire Warrior. The Warriors. Warriors Orochi. Warriors Orochi 2. Wave Rally. Way of the Samurai. Way of the Samurai 2. Wheel of Fortune. Whiplash. World Tour. Wild Arms 3. Wild Arms 5. Winter Sports 2, The Next Challenge. Win Back, Convert Operations. Winback 2, Project Poseidon.
There you are.
Without Warning. Wipeout Fusion. WWE SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain. WWF SmackDown, Just Bring It. WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2006. X2, Wolverine's Revenge. The X-Files, Resist or Serve. X-Men Next Dimension. X-Men Origins, Wolverine.
Look what you made me do.
X-Squad. X-Men, the official game. XGRA, Extreme G Racing Association. Shaolin Showdown. '13. Yakuza. Yakuza 2. Yourself Fitness.
Combination with your right leg. We're gonna do 8 reps.
Yanya Cabalista, City Skater. Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, The Beginning of Destiny. Yu Yu Hakusho, Dark Tournament. Zapper, One Wicked Cricket. Zatch Bell, Momoto Battle. Zatch Bell, Momoto Fury. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Beach King, Stunt Racer. Zathura. Scalar. Jackie Chan Adventures. And Zone of the Enders. Along with these PS2 games that drove the console to be the best of the whole console lineup, the PlayStation 2 also had exclusive titles that were never released in the United States or anywhere else. Some of these were really unique too in their word fonts, gameplay mechanics, and their presentation. Japan must have wanted their own lineup of PS2 games, or they did not have localization hires available to translate the game's Japanese language to English, but who really knows at this point? Anyways, the games that were exclusive to only Japan include Ace, Another Centuries, Episode 3, Bleach, Blade Battlers, Bleach, Blade Battlers 2, Kango 3, Sakurazaka Shibota, Hokuto no Ken, Fist of the North Star, Front Mission 5, Garuden Break Blow, Fist of Twist, Dance Summit 2001, Bust a Move, Monster Hunter 2, Shin Kogetsuji Ichizuku Bona Kaiho, Remote Control Dandy SF, The King of Fighters 2002 Unlimited Match, Kinnikuman Muscle Grand Prix Max 2, Tokumori, Garu Mark of the Wolves, Nippon Azumao Kakutohen, Wrestle Kingdom, Wrestle Kingdom 2, Pro Wrestling Sekai Tyson, Yu Yu Hakusho Forever, Jikuboken Zentrix, Kamen Rider Kabuto, and Wangan Midnight. These games are mentioned just so you guys can know about them, and either you can research these games on your own time or I could talk about some of them in future videos. Drop a comment down below if you want that to happen. Finally, here are some games that I didn't mention when listing off the PS2 games, and if there are any PS2 games that I didn't bring up, you can write them down in the comment section. Hope you enjoyed this ride as much as I did because this video really pushed me through the hoops. As a lover of this console, it is safe to say the PS2 was very groundbreaking for the time it came out, as there was a big dramatic leap in technology during the 6th generation of consoles with the PlayStation 2, Xbox, GameCube, and Dreamcast. This really pushed the gaming industry to the future of breaking the limits of what the original PlayStation could not do in the previous 5th generation console era. The PlayStation 2 had great marketing, graphical enhancements, more unique gameplay to different games, and adding more features like acting as a DVD player than just a game console and CD music player. This console defined a generation of people and is fondly remembered for its amazing innovation to what it brought to the table for the video game industry. If you are new to this channel, make sure to subscribe because a little reminder, most of you are not subscribed, so make sure you do that. Next time, we're going to go over the console that was not as good as the PS2, but was decent enough to have alright to good games, and that console is the PS3. Again, make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share this video. And remember to keep your chill rate 100. See you guys next time.
Happy New Year 2001!
Oh! Yeah. You're coming with me.
All right, that's what I like to hear, man. Shrek and Duncan, two stalwart friends off on a whirlwind big city adventure. I love it. Board coming online. We got scarers coming out.
Indeed.
Never had any adventures or did anything unexpected.
If you're referring to the incident with the dragon, I was barely involved. All I did was give your uncle a little nudge out of the door.
Like my story? No, not your story, a story. Since you can't keep your mouth shut long enough for me to read my paper, tell me a story.
I don't think I know any stories.
You don't know any stories?
For the first time, let me now unveil Xbox.
It's good to laugh at gravity together. Amp 2, rated E for everyone. It's good to play together.
It's time to control time with Blink and the power to record. Activate record to tackle obstacles with the blinks you previously recorded. Use record because the plural of Blink is still Blinks. Blinks, rated everyone.
For time control, there's no power greater than X.
I'm the Slayer, and you're history. You never should have walked into my playground.
Rated T for Teen.
My name's Jack. Dead to rights.
Numbered, overpowered, and they've got you cornered. That's when you realize your last best hope is you. Halo, Combat Evolved, rated M for mature.
I will continue my campaign against the humans.
No enemy has ever withstood our might.
Chief, we're running out of time.
I need a weapon.
There are things about Halo even the Hierarchs do not understand.
There are those who said this day would never come. What are they to say now?
Hello, creatures. Our world needs you. The time is now. Let us team up. Let us power up. And maybe even blow up. And stink up.
Odd World. Much Odyssey. Rated D for teen.
Don't have the fifth freedom. The right to spy, destroy, and eliminate. To ensure that American freedoms are protected. I am Sam Fisher. I am a Splinter Cell.
And those of you who fight well, you will find yourselves on the path to becoming international secret agents. In other words, Psychonauts!
What if every choice you made changed the way you look and how people see you? Would you shun evil and lead a life of virtue? Become a righteous hero? Decide your destiny. Fable, for every choice, a consequence. Rated M for mature.
Wheels on the bus go round and round, round and round. And you're the guy under the bus.
End of the line. Come on, get out. Jerome Bettis has his game on. Do you? Madden NFL 2003.
If it's in the game,
EA Sports. It's in the game.
There is good, and there is evil. We all have within us the capacity for both. But in the end, a final question remains. Which side are you on? In an epic struggle between light and dark, choose your path and seal the fate of the galaxy. Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic, rated T for teen. For saving the galaxy, there's no power greater than X.
G Game Master 16. Hey Game Masters, this is G Game Master 16 where the chill rate is 100. Wow, it is amazing the subscriber count is getting up there, and that is very exciting. I might do a celebratory stream for building a larger community and build more connections to you guys. For that to happen, make sure to keep subscribing, watch my videos to the end, and share my videos to beat the YouTube algorithm. Last note, most of you are not subscribed, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, like, and share the video. Alright, let's get to the Xbox. The Xbox is the most recognizable console in America and is Microsoft's first attempt to get into the game and console business. The famous game franchises that originated from the Xbox library are Halo, Star Wars, Knights of the Old Republic or KOTOR for short, and Conquer, Live and Reloaded. As it turns out, Microsoft saw Sony PlayStation and Nintendo competing for the best console and said, hey, why don't we get in on some of that action? The Xbox was the pioneer for LAN parties and first-person shooters by the late 2000s, as it helped many players make many connections online and to have fun. There was a vision from the designers of the original Xbox to make it fair to player and to make sure they have the best gaming experience as possible. If you have a favorite moment trash talking in game chat rooms and beating your opponents, drop a comment on this video below. With all that said, let's address the Xbox origins and its impact on the future of gaming. In its origins, 4 engineers in 1998 from the DirectX team at Microsoft, Kevin Batches, Seamus Blackley, Ted Hayes, and team leader Otto Burks, were disassembling Dell laptop computers to develop a Windows-based game console. The DirectX team was more focused creating the Windows-based console to compete with Sony's PlayStation 2, but it lured the game developers away from the Windows operating systems. Then, they went to Ed Fries, the leader of Microsoft's game publishing business at the time, pitched their DirectX box based on DirectX graphics technology developed by Burke's team. To their surprise, Fries went along with their idea for a new console based on Windows DirectX. Originally, the console was named the DirectX Box, but was shortened to the familiar name Xbox, and the marketing team for Microsoft initially did not like the name. They listed many other alternative names, including Xbox on the list during focus testing, and it turns out, consumers chose Xbox as the official product name. This was made after collaborating with Sega to port Windows CE to the Sega Dreamcast. Microsoft then delayed the console. While it was mentioned in late 1999 in interviews with Bill Gates, the then CEO of Microsoft, he stated he wanted the system to be the platform of choice for the best and most creative game developers in the world. Bill Gates introduced the Xbox at the GDC, Game Developer Conference in 2000, while the Sega Dreamcast is decreasing in sales and the PlayStation 2 is going on sale in Japan. Microsoft also focused on making a big impact with the Xbox in Japan, while Microsoft delayed the European release even though over there it was more anticipated. Preparing for the launch, Microsoft acquired Bungie and had the iconic game, Halo Combat Evolved, as a launch title. Going back to the GDC, where Bill Gates showed an early prototype build of the Xbox and a series of demos showcasing the hardware in San Jose, California in March 2000.
It's our standard Microsoft gamepad.
Yeah.
So I'll you have to tell me how much you want to see. Just some stuff. And now I'm going to get a butterfly sim.
It easily impressed developers with the hard drive and the Etherport and appealed to them with easy-to-use development tools. When they got ready for the launch of the Xbox worldwide, Microsoft acquired many game studios like Bethesda and Tecmo by convincing them that the technology of the Xbox is superior to the PS2, having titles such as The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind and Dead or Alive 3 as Xbox exclusive. How cool is that? That decision led to Halo becoming a launch title and a driver of sales for the console. Then, the Xbox was officially revealed to the public by Gates and professional wrestler Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, well, when he was still popular, at the Computer Electronics Show on January 3rd, 2001.
Thank you, Rock. I'm very flattered myself.
By creating Windows in 1983, a multitasking graphical user interface environment that runs on MS-DOS-based computers along with Windows NT and Windows 2000, completely self-contained operating systems that feature networking, symmetric multiprocessing, multi-threading, and security. Bill, you've certainly revolutionized the technology we know today.
Microsoft announced the release dates and pricing at E3 2001, likely Halo and Dead or Alive 3. The unit's release got affected in November due to the September 11th attacks, and they shifted toward arranging ship units locally since Microsoft couldn't travel. The Xbox launched at midnight on November 15, 2001, 3 days before the launch of Nintendo's GameCube. A special event was held before the release at the grand opening of a Toys R Us store at Times Square in New York City, in which 1,000 systems were shipped to the store to kick sales off. Bill Gates was at the event, personally selling the first console, greeting people in line, and playing the Xbox launch games with the people at the display units.
One of those moments in your life you're never going to forget. Here we are, a huge line of gamers.
I go straight to the new Toys R Us, and I'm looking for the line. I'm prepared to stay there all day.
We worked with the city to open up the WWF restaurant across the street from Toys R Us Times Square, and that's where all the gamers came first.
They have Xbox consoles set up everywhere and test out all these games.
Bill wanted to be on site.
And then we were playing Fusion Frenzy, and Bill Gates made a comment that he had actually taken 2 weeks off of work just to practice this game. He wanted to beat the gamers.
Does anyone know what the shoot button is? A, I think. A? Let's check.
He couldn't beat me. I absolutely took pleasure in beating Bill Gates, yes.
Thank you for this. I've been waiting a long time.
Everybody got a tag on their wrist, and when your color was called, we brought you across the street to Toys R Us, and Bill was there to hand out the very first Xbox.
Tonight's kind of a celebration. It's after a lot of hard work.
So they count down. Bill Gates has it rung in on the register. Price is up there, $299.99.
5, 4, 3, 2.
One hits, and he hands me the box and says, "Don't worry, I'm buying it for you," and raise my prized possession over my head.
Edward Glucksman became the first gamer in the world to ever own an Xbox. It was a magical night.
I'm a 20-year-old kid looking for a console. That's all I wanted to do.
The lifespan for the original Xbox lasted until 2005, and they came out with the Xbox 360 that has improved specs, but that is for another video. Now, let's briefly talk about the original Xbox itself. The console itself is a black box with one big black X across it, along with a green circle in the middle with the logo on it. There are 2 controller ports on each side of the power button, making it 4 in total on the front of the console. Along with the power button being in the front of the console, there is also the eject button to eject discs. To gloss over the specs of the console, the Xbox CPU is a 32-bit MHz, a custom Intel Pentium 3 Coppermine based processor. It has a 133 MHz 64-bit GTL plus front side bus with a 1.06 GB per second bandwidth. The system has 64 MB unified DDR SD RAM with a 6.4 GB per second bandwidth, of which 1.06 GB per second is used by the CPU and 5.34 GB per second is shared by the rest of the system. The bandwidth was limited, so it had a rate of 250 to 700 megapixels per second, with Z buffering, fogging, alpha bending, and texture mapping, giving a performance of 7.8 to 21 million 32 pixel triangles per second. As for the Xbox controller, it's basically as large as the Dreamcast controller, but different in design and colors. During development of the Xbox, co-creator Seamus Blackley drew some concept Xbox controllers and shared it with the public. And Seamus stated that Microsoft never chose the final version of the controller, so him and his team decided. The development team eventually went with the large, bulky design now widely known as the Duke. Okay, before I list off the games from this console, let's address the software of the original Xbox. The Xbox Custom Operating System is based on a heavily refined version of Windows 2000. The user interface is called the Xbox Dashboard and features a media player that plays music CDs, and the Xbox can also manage game saves and music in Xbox Live, and lets its users sign in, customize, and manage their accounts. When the player is not watching a movie or playing a game, the user interface shows and has a shade of black and green to keep with the Xbox theme released in 2001. When the Xbox released in 2001, the live service was now functional along with the live settings and network settings submenu. So when the player is not watching a movie or playing a game, the user interface would just show the regular options and not the online ones, and also had a shade of black and green to keep with the Xbox aesthetic of cool and edgy. Xbox Live was first released in November 2002, and users had to buy the Xbox Live starter kit to access it that contained a headset and a subscription. Alright, we finally got the descriptions of the Xbox out of the way, so let's get right to the games. .187, Ride or Die. .2002 FIFA World Cup. 25 to Life. Advent Rising. Aeon Flux. Aggressive Inline. Air Force Delta Storm. Elias.
Intruder!
All-Star Baseball 2003.
A high fly ball to center.
All-Star Baseball 2004.
You end up with a guy standing on second base saying, "Hey, thank you." That pitch popped up.
All-Star Baseball 2005.
Maybe you can get a hit. Rodriguez, first pitch swinging.
America's Army, Rise of a Soldier. American Chopper 2, Full Throttle. AMF Bowling 2004. AMF Extreme Bowling 2006. Amped. Amped 2. AND1 Street Ball.
Let's get this party started.
Animaniacs, The Great Edgar Hunt. Aquaman, Battle for Atlantis. Area 51. Arena Football. Armed and Dangerous. Army Men, Sarge's War. Arx Fatalis. Auto Modelista. Azaric, Rise of Parathia. Barbie Horse Adventures, Wild Horse Rescue.
This is the first place you should look for the missing horses.
The Bard's Tale, Bass Pro Shops, Trophy Bass 2007, Bass Pro Shops, Trophy Hunter 2007, Batman, Dark Tomorrow, Battlefield 2, Modern Combat, Beatdown, Fist of Vengeance, Beyond Good and Evil,
Okay, let's go.
I guess we'd better head straight for the Malago Garage.
Bicycle Casino, The Bible Game,
Ink! Come on, just take one more chance. The choice.
Big Mother Truckers, Big Mother Truckers 2, Blackstone, Magic and Steel, Blade 2, Blinks, Blinks 2, Masters of Time and Space, Blitz the Lead,
And the conversion is no.
Bloodwake,
Jade Kingdom fools need a lesson. Use the radar.
Bloody War Extreme, Blowout, Breakdown, Broken Sword, The Sleeping Dragon, Bruce Lee, Quest of the Dragon, Brute Force,
I hope you can't, for his sake.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Chaos Bleeds, Burnout Revenge, Cabela's Dangerous Hunts, Cabela's Dangerous Hunts 2, Call of Cthulhu, Dark Corners of the Earth, Call of Duty, Finest Hour, Call of Duty 2, Big Red One, Call of Duty 3, Castlevania, Curse of Darkness, Catwoman, Championship Bowling, Chase, Hollywood Stunt Driver, Chicago Enforcer, Chicken Little, Circus Maximus, Chariot Wars, Close Combat, First to Fight, Cold War, Colin McRae Rally, 2005, Combat Task Force, 121, Commandos 2, Men of Courage. Conflict, Desert Storm. Conflict, Desert Storm 2, Return to Baghdad. Conflict, Global Terror. Conflict, Vietnam. Conquer, Live and Reloaded. Corvette. Counter-Strike. Crash Nitro Kart. Crash Twinsanity. Crazy Taxi 3. Crime Life, Gang Wars. Crimson Sea. Crimson Skies, High Road to Revenge. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Crusty Demons. Curious George. Curse, The Eye of Isis. Dai Senryaku 7, Modern Military Tactics. Dakar 2, The World's Ultimate Rally. Dance Dance Revolution, Ultra Mix. Dance Dance Revolution, Ultra Mix 2. Dark Watch. Dead Man's Hand. Dead or Alive 3. Dead or Alive, Extreme Beach Volleyball. Death Row. Dead to Rights. Def Jam, Fight for New York. Defender.
These captured Manti are trapped.
Delta Force, Black Hawk Down. Deus Ex, Invisible War. Digimon Rumble Arena 2. Digimon World 4. Dino Crisis 3. Dinosaur Hunting. Dinotopia, The Sunstone Odyssey. Doom 3. Dragon's Lair 3D, Return to the Lair. Drake of the 99 Dragons. Dreamfall, The Longest Journey. Dukes of Hazzard, The Return of General Lee. Dungeons and Dragons, Heroes. Dynasty Warriors 3, Dynasty Warriors 5, Enclave, Fable, Fable: The Lost Chapters,
Have a nice visit.
Fallout: Brotherhood of Steel, Far Cry Instincts: Evolution, Fireblade, Forgotten Realms: Demon Stone, Frogger: Ancient Shadow, Future Tactics: The Uprising, Galleon, Gauntlet: Dark Legacy, Genma: Onimusha, Goblin Commander: Unleash the Horde, Godzilla: Destroy All Monsters Melee, GoldenEye: Rogue Agent, Grand Theft Auto 3, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, Grabbed by the Ghoulies, Guilty Gear X2, Gunmetal, Gun Griffin: Allied Strike, Gun Valkyrie, Half-Life 2, Halo: Combat Evolved,
Red team has the flag.
Halo 2, The House of the Dead 3, The Hulk, The Incredible Hulk: Ultimate Destruction, Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb, Indigo Prophecy, Inside Pitch 2003, IndyCar Series 2005, Iron Phoenix, Jade Empire, James Bond 007, Agent Under Fire, James Bond 007, Everything or Nothing, James Bond 007, From Russia with Love, James Bond 007, Nightfire, Jet Set Radio Future, Judge Dredd, Dredd vs. Death, Kakuto Chojin, Back Alley Brutal, Kabuki Warriors, Kill Switch, King of Fighters, 02/03, Knight's Apprentice, Memorix Adventures, Kung Fu Chaos, Legacy of Kain, Defiance, Legends of Wrestling, Legends of Wrestling 2, Loons, The Fight for Fame, Mad Dash Racing, Madden NFL 08,
Number 37 is there for the
Madden NFL 2004,
This one. Pressure. Looking downfield. Rolling out to his
Magic the Gathering, Battlegrounds,
Raging Goblin.
Malice, Manchester United Manager 2005, Major League Baseball 2K5,
Here's the ball grounded towards the hole.
Mark Echoes Getting Up, Contents Under Pressure, The Matrix, Path of Neo, Max Payne,
For Alex, they had ended up in the middle of a big-time crime.
Max Payne 2, Maximum Chase, Mech Assault, Mech Assault 2,
Sir, you're gonna need
Medal of Honor, Rising Sun, Man of Valor, Metal Arms, Glitch in the System, Metal Dungeon, Midnight Club 2, Midtown Madness 3, MotoGP, MotoGP 3, Murakumo, Renegade Mech Pursuit, MVP Baseball 2003,
The World Series MVP. Hit to left field. It falls in for a hit. He's on his way to
MX Superfly, Miss 3 Exile, Miss 4 Revelation, Narc, NASCAR Thunder 2002. NBA 2K2.
The Sixers control the opening tip, and Rod, everyone knows about Allen Iverson and the offense he can create.
NBA Ballers Phenom. NBA Inside Drive 2003. NBA Inside Drive 2004.
Passes cross court.
NCAA Football 2003.
Number 92 brings him down at the 29. He dove for that one.
You know, guys, that takes a lot of concentration to stretch.
NCAA March Madness 2004.
Passes the rock. Great anticipation. That's great court savvy to get it away with that pass.
New Legends. NFL 2K3. NFL Fever 2002.
The 49ers limited the ball carrier to a short game.
NFL Fever 2003. NFL Fever 2004. Nickelodeon Party Blast. Nightcaster. Nightcaster 2 Equinox. Ninja Gaiden. Oddworld Munch's Odyssey. Oddworld Stranger's Wrath. Operation Flashpoint Elite. Otogi Myth of Demons. Otogi 2 Immortal Warriors. Outlaw Golf. Outlaw Golf 2. Outlaw Golf 9 Holes of Xmas. Outlaw Golf Holiday Golf.
Gotta like that.
Outrun 2. Painkiller Hell Wars. Panzer Dragoon Order. Pariah. Phantom Crash. Phantom Dust. Pirates, The Legend of Black Cat. Pitfall, The Last Expedition. Playboy, The Mansion. Pocket Bite Racer. Predator, Concrete Jungle. Prince of Persia, The Sands of Time. Prince of Persia, The Two Thrones. Procast Sports Fishing. Pro Fishing Challenge. Pro Race Driver. Project Gotham Racing. Project Gotham Racing 2. Pump It Up, Exceed. Pro Stroke Golf, World Tour 2007. Psychonauts. Pure Pinball. Quantum Redshift. Rally Sport Challenge. Rally Sport Challenge 2. Rally Fusion, Race of Champions. Raises Hell. Reign of Fire. RLH, Run Like Hell. Roadkill. RoboCop.
Ammunition.
Robotech, Battle Cry. Robotech, Invasion. Rocky Legends. Samurai Showdown 5. Scalar. Scooby-Doo, Nights of 100 Frights. Scooby-Doo, Mystery Mayhem. American McGee presents Scrapeland. Seablade. Shamu's Deep Sea Adventures, SeaWorld. Sega GT 2002. Sega Soccer Slam. Serious Sam.
Yeah, baby.
Serious Sam 2. Shadow the Hedgehog. Shenmue 2. Showdown, Legends of Wrestling.
Right there. How? That'll get your attention.
Sneakers. Sonic Heroes. Sonic Riders, Soul Calibur 2, Spartan, Total Warrior, Spawn, Armageddon, Speed Kings, Spike Out, Battle Street, Splashdown,
Good.
SpongeBob SquarePants, Battle for Bikini Bottom, Spy vs. Spy, Stacked with Daniel Negreanu, Stake, Fortune Fighters, Star Wars Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, Star Wars Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront 2, Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, The Sith Lords, Star Wars Obi-Wan, Star Wars Republic Commando, Star Wars The Clone Wars, Starsky and Hutch, Steel Battalion, Still Life, Sudeki, Superman, the Man of Steel, SWAT, Global Strike Team, SX Superstar, Tao Fang, Fists of the Lotus, TMNT, Mutant Melee, Tenchu, Return from Darkness, Test Drive, Thrillville,
through time.
The Nightmare Before Christmas, Oogie's Revenge, Toe Jam and Earl 3, Mission to Earth,
Delicious.
Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell, Chaos Theory, Tomb Raider, Legend, Tony Hawk's Underground, Tony Hawk's Underground 2, Top Gear RPM Tuning, Torque, Prehistoric Punk, Total Overdose, Totaled, Toxic Grind, Triggerman, Turok, Evolution, UFC, Tap Out, UFC, Tap Out 2, Ultimate Beach Soccer,
Great reflexes.
Unreal Championship, Unreal Championship 2, The Leandry Conflict, Unreal 2, The Awakening, V-Rally 3, Viet Cong, Purple Haze, Volvo, Drive for Life, Voodoo Vince, Wakeboarding Unleashed, featuring Sean Murray, Wallace and Gromit, The Curse of the Were-Rabbit, Warpath, Whacked, Wideout, World War II Combat, Iwo Jima, World War II Combat, Road to Berlin, WTA Tour Tennis, WWE Raw 2, WWF Raw, X-Men Next Dimension, Xionine, Jaeger, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Dawn of Destiny. The original Xbox was an attempt for Microsoft to enter the gaming console wars with PlayStation, Nintendo, and Sega. It paid off for them as they created a great lineup of game releases for the original Xbox's short time span before Microsoft moved on to their peak console, which is the Xbox 360. I feel like the original Xbox and the Xbox 360 were the peak of the Xbox brand, and much creatively was expressed. With the eras of every console, the games that come out on them reflect the style and aesthetic of that console when it launches and its entire lifespan. When it comes to the games that came out on the original Xbox, they reflected the cool and edgy feel of what the Xbox was portraying. The green and black colors really helped make colors pop on the cover arts of different game titles that intrigue gamers into buying them. As we bring this video to a close, make sure to subscribe, like, and share this video, and drop a comment below to list your favorite original Xbox game. Remember to keep your chill rate 100, and see you in the next video.